So what's up? Today was a kind of pretty ugly day to be honest. So let me show you what I took today. Um, June 24. Let's go to ES and NQ. I took one trade and there was a winner today. So let me show you that. So when we come here on ES, we had 1 hour fair value gap. We were rejecting of this 4 hour swing low. We had this daily rejection low get closed below. So basically we were having all the signs to go lower. We had weekly monthly fair value gap below this weekly loss as well. So I thought, okay, maybe it's time that we do a big retracement, but that's not even a big thing in today because we are just trying to calc with the closest PDRS, right? So the my pre-market scenarios were pretty simple. We had no news. So first scenario was I wanted to see a sweep the rejection high and we move lower. Okay. So I actually for us to move over there were different areas, not just this one because we had this 15-minute fair value gap we could move over from. We had this swing high we could move over from. We had this rejection low. We had this 4 hour fair value gap. So those are the points where I could expect a reversal. Okay. So that was my first thing. Okay. And actually on the back of my mind I knew this day is not going to be that good because we had so many PDRs, so many chops, and outside the range we had so many things preventing us from trading because we had a lot of resistance and support. So if I had to take a setup, then I had to be like wait for a really good one. So basically, my second scenario is what very important because we were already pre-market sweeping the Asian London lows were already Asian lows were swept before London lows highs were Asian highs were swept before London and London highs were swept before New York. So basically we had all the highs of the consolidation cleaned and we only had lows to take, right? So that's actually a really nice thing for me to see. Okay, and this was ES, which was being a stronger pair at that point of time, and NQ at that time. Let me show you. Okay, okay, I think I put the same screenshot here. So basically, what NQ was doing was we have something similar. Okay, we swept all the highs pre-market. I mean, we didn't sweep all the highs. We swept the Asian and the London high pre-market. Okay, so basically swept the hot pot. Okay, and we had given SMT. Okay, where we could see we gave an SMT is on this SMT with the Asian. I mean with this highs. Okay, this in itself is an SMT. When we compare to ES. Okay, sorry, I think I marked it badly, wrongly. So this is the SMT that we had at the start of the session. Okay, this was my SMT, and both were giving us the signs of bearishness because we swept the highs. We had an SMT, and then my entry basically the best entry would be here. Okay, when I had this 15-minute fair value gap, which gets invalidated in this second 15 minute. So the best entry would have been at this stops above here or above like here, and we target 1:2. See 1:1.2 or something. So basically anywhere around here would have been okay. Whereas safe one would be like this. So this is a good entry. Okay, definitely this is a entry that I could take. Honestly. Okay. So, but what actually happened was I kind of hesitated, which is another thing I have to note because I wouldn't say hesitate. This was pre-market and this is new because I have not traded pre-market. Okay. So this is new to see my scenario come into fruition before NY open. So the second scenario, we wanted to see this 15-minute fair value gap fail for us to give a confirmation. We had it here, but I keep on making this mistake, which is related to hesitating. Okay, so what actually happened was I had this nice candle right there. This could have also been an entry. This could have also been an entry, and I let the price fall this much. Okay, at that point of time, For us, ES was also bearish, but it was not taking this London lows. So what my idea was, ES is most probably going to take this London lows, and till that NO is more stronger, so it's gonna push lower. So when I had this 15-minute fair value gap close like this, I had my limit order exactly right here at this breaker kind of block. Okay, and my SL was above this week, just above this week, because I knew this 15-minute fair value gap is going to get holded, because we what we actually had with this 15-minute fair value gap is an SMT. So let me show you this 15-minute week up right here, and this is the 15-minute fair value gap close candle. Okay, so what we basically did was price respected this candle high, whereas in ES we took it, so which is a mini fair value gap. Honestly, I wouldn't look for a second entry here, but just we had this confirmation that this 15-minute fair value gap is creating own SMT with each other, so that gives us there's another chance for an entry. So that's when I look for this kind of entry right here on this, like this, my SL above here, and my TP was 1:2. Okay, I just wanted to be quick. This was 10 minutes before the NY open. Okay, I mean not 10, I think 15 minutes before the NY open. Okay, so this was my trade. I took this trade. Okay, so basically price came and it did this move up before pre-market, and when price did this move lower, and it was almost 2 minutes to NY open, I moved my SL to break even, because NY open volatility could be something that I can't handle. So I did this move. Okay, and basically waited, and then the manipulation move was fortunately lower as I thought, because the manipulation move that I had expected on ES to do was sweep these London lows, and similarly this also should push lower, maybe towards this Asian lows, and exactly that's where the price came and it reversed, and then we had a big move up. Then this 15-minute fair value gap holded to push price even lower towards the bigger Asian lows. So basically, I would say this was a pretty nice trade, and I had that idea in the back of mind, because once the manipulation move happens, it's gonna do something uh, which is not like that good for us, or a high probable scenario. So basically, price just ping ponged after that. So I'm happy that I took this trade, and it actually went to winner. But I have a lot to learn from this trade, because the best entry was the one that I missed. Okay, this was the best entry. Honestly, this would be I should start to be more aggressive when I get this kind of 15-minute candle signs, and not just keep waiting for it, because I had everything safe at this area, and so this would have been the better entry. Okay, this was my trade in um uh, uh yes. So let's go to NQ. In NQ, what we had is very simple. We just had a very big move lower. We just kept pushing lower for our kind of overextended at this point. We were running the monthly lows as well. We just had a move lower, and yesterday and the day before yesterday, and just kept dumping. Okay, and we had this kind of chop in the AM session. I did this journal later, because pre-market I was busy on that trade, so I did this journal quite a bit later. Okay, so my pre-market scenario, and it was completely based on this 4-hour fair value gap. If price directly trades to this 4-hour fair value gap, and we get a good reversal, I mean we clear out the bullish resistance, and we'll get a spot of low resistance in this 4-hour context that I would like to trade. That was my scenario 1. The scenario 2 was simple. If price before taking this 1 hour or the 4-hour 1 hour fair value gap in NQ, and I mean GU, and 4-hour fair value gap in EU. So in if price didn't want to go to the fair value gap before, but we were just doing this chop, so there was another possibility that price first takes this low, first weaves this low to move higher. Okay, this was my second scenario, and this was actually a brilliant scenario. I'm happy that I figured this out myself. If this is going to happen, it's going to look like this, because G is more stronger, in bearish intent. So it's going to take the lows while it's EU is not going to take the lows, and we are going to get a SMT, and then we can target the 4 hour fair value gap. It's actually a beautiful thing. Okay, we had the same thing. We had price try to push lower and fail. It's a good 15-minute fair value gap with an SMT. I mean 15-minute candle sign with an SMT. Then this move was actually very nice. And in GU we took the low, we did that SMT as we wished. These arrows are still here. Okay, so at this point we would like to trade EU because it is the one that holded the bullish intent very well, and this was having bearish intent better. So GU gave us the nice signal. We had literally no resistance and low resistance to low resistance liquidity to take and no resistance against us. So that's actually really nice. We had this 1 2 3 kind of scenario here, and on lower time frame also we basically had this one move, second move, third move, 3 failure swings trying to move lower, and then we get this beautiful confirmation right here. We had this move, this is the whole 15-minute fair value gap, I mean 15-minute move. So basically after that 15-minute fair value gap that we had here, we get these candle signs. Is definitely one of the best confirmations you could see. You could have an SL like this covering this 5-minute fair value gap, and we could target this uh, on this fair value gap, or you could even target a little bit higher because GU has a lot of place to cover. So we know it's gonna go deep inside this 4 hour fair value gap for sure. I knew, but I didn't take this trade because I already took one trade. So I'm not used to taking 2 trades a day. I mean, if it's break even, I will go for the second one. Generally, I haven't taken another trade after a loser or a winner. So the things that I have to figure right now is to stop hesitating. So this is the best entry that I missed. I was like looking for an entry right here, which is not right. But the idea was as I predicted and as I marked it out pre-market. So that's the thing that I love about my strategy. I'm happy it's working really nice. And this trade that I took was a winner, but I could have done better. I could have just not hesitated at this candle. I could have taken like this. The only thing is this was new to me, so I kind of hesitated a bit of this move, and this was also similar where I kind of hesitated because I haven't taken second trade, but I find that both played out. So that's the market recap for today from my side, and I'm going to address these problems right now. So basically, what I'm going to do is if I take a loss, and if I take a loss in ES, let's say, if I take a loss in ES, I'm just gonna stay away from ES for that day, and ES and NQ for the day, and I'm gonna, if I get an entry in EU or GU, I'm gonna take. So that's my rule number one. This is how I'm going to uh, go forward from now on. So if I similarly if I take a loss in EU or NQ, I'm just gonna stop that pair for that stop the pair, and if I get an entry in ES and NQ, I'm gonna take it. Or the third possibility is if I take a win in EU, okay, I'm gonna just keep it separate, ES and NQ, EU and GU. But if I take a loss, I'm just gonna stay away from that pass, and I'm not going to revenge trade. So the main thing is I don't want to revenge trade, I don't want to over trade, but at the same time I don't want to miss valid setups. I want to find the soft spot between them. So I'm going to I'm not going to stick to just one trade a day or one loss a day. I'm gonna if I take a win, I'm going to stay away from that pair, and if I take a loss, I'm going to stay away from that pair. I could look for entry in the other pair. Okay, if I get break evens, I can keep looking for another entry if I get. So basically, as I have already pre-market marked out, there's probably gonna be no big deal for an over trading or revenge trading, but I don't want my emotions to get involved, so I'm going to have this as a rule. I'm yet to like journal it, but that's the thing. This entry what we had against us, or what we had for us is SMT 123 in lower time frame, 123 in higher time frames, no resistance against it, 4 hour is strong draw and liquidity. Okay, that's just the one line for this recap. And for this one, we had Asian lows and intermediate turn loss as target. We swept the highs and both within SMT and 15 minutes short term. Entry was at 15 minutes. Okay, we had this. Okay, we had liquidity sweep. We had a candle expansion candle continuation entry. Okay, breakout structure also we had this breakout, and also we had SMT. Here also we had on SMT. Here also we had on SMT. So that's the idea for this trade, and this trade played out. I'm happy about it. So that's it.